Hello and welcome to our jing on making the block view of our CO2 dragster. We're going to be doing this block view to scale. So we need to take all the dimensions that we've already measured and plug them into the measurements in the bottom right hand corner. To start this process, we need to convert all the fractions into decimals so that we can enter them in inches. To do this, we're going to take the top number and divide it by the bottom number. For instance, the height of the entire block is 2 inches and 3/4 of an inch. So we divide 3 by 4, giving us 0.75, making the height 2.75. So once we have everything dimensioned and turned into decimals, we're going to start building the block view. The first thing you need is the rectangle tool. So we can choose it, or we can hit R to snap to it. Then we're going to pick a point. Once you pick the point, you want to click once. That lets us change the size of the block, and we can enter dimensions. The other way is if you click and hold down, you see we can still do that, but once we release, we have the block made and we can't change the dimensions. So that's not the way we want to do it. We want to click once, and first we're going to enter the length. The length was 12 inches, so we type 1, 2, then a quotation mark, which is the symbol for inches, then a comma, and the width, which was 1.67625. Enter, and that gives us a block. Now we need to raise the block. We want to raise it to the front that we measured. So we're going to use the push-pull tool, and we want to highlight the entire thing blue. You see how when I go on it, it highlights. So we're going to click it once, just like before, and not hold it. Click it once, and that'll let us raise it. The front measured at 3/4 of an inch, so we're going to enter that in decimals and hit enter. That gives us the front of the block height. The next thing we're going to do is use the move tool to make the angle. We're going to do that by clicking on the back top line, turning it blue. Once we click on it, we can raise it. We want to keep it on the blue axis. That keeps us parallel to the front. So we're on the blue axis, and we're going to raise it to the height. Now the height measured at 2.75, but since we've already raised it 0.75, we can subtract that from the 2.75, giving us 2 inches. So 2, quotation marks, enter. The next thing we need to do is orbit around to the back. On the back is where the CO2 canister goes, so we need to make that hole that it goes into. So we're going to pick a new tool, which is circle, or hit the C tool, snap to it, and we're going to find the midpoint of the top. It'll snap to the midpoint, and then we can bring it down. You see we're still on the blue axis. Then we're going to find the midpoint of the side. You'll see that comes out on the green axis, and when we meet those two, we have the exact center of this back. So we're going to click that once, and we're going to enter the radius of the circle. Now we measured the diameter, so to find the radius, we need to divide it by 2. So take the diameter you have, divide it by 2, and you'll get the size of the radius. So now that we have the size of the hole, we need to push that hole in to allow room for the CO2 canister. To do that, we're going to push it in, and we're going to enter 2 inches. Now we have a block view. That is the complete block view in to scale that we need to continue working on this drawing. The next thing we need to do is make a copy of it so that we can start working on the side view. To make a copy of it, we're going to select the entire block view. You can do this by using the pointer tool or hitting space to snap to the pointer tool. Then we're going to use move tool, and if we hit control or command on the Mac, you'll see we get a plus sign in the bottom right. Then we can click on it, and we can bring it straight back. When the line is red, we're on the same axis, and we can click again. That gives us 2 of the exact same blocks. That's where we'll be stopping today, and tomorrow we'll be working on doing the side view. So be sure to save your project, and we'll see you on the next jing.